Hey there, creatives. Are you spending too much time on tiny details and not focus on the big picture while your art business suffers? You might be falling victim to bike shedding. Let's dig in. All right, before I tell you what bike shedding is, let me just show you an example. Here we have an artist that's struggling with the decision between picking their merchant processor, Stripe or PayPal. Which one should I choose? Now, if you were doing a lot of volume per month, making a sale per day, this might actually be a legitimate decision to focus on. But when you're starting out or relaunching a website or just going live with your new website, it's such a distraction, right? This is such a minor detail in the grand scheme of things when you really should be focusing on finding your audience, creating new artwork, shooting new photography, and finding customers. This is something that you should focus on way later. And this happens all the time with entrepreneurs and artists, where we focus and get sucked into the tiniest details at the expense of what really matters. This is what happens a lot in entrepreneurship, and we all fall victim to it. I fall victim to it, and it's a term called bike shedding. Now, what is bike shedding? Bike shedding refers to spending a disproportionate amount of time on trivial, small matters when really you should be focused on the larger issues at hand. Comes from a famous study where a group of experts studied a corporate team and they gave them the task of building a bike shed. What they found was the team spent an inordinate amount of time worrying about the bike shed's color, whether it should be red or blue, rather than the more critical things such as dimensions, what material to use, and timeline. So how do other ways of bike shedding manifest in your art or photography business? Well, I got 5 for you. Number 1, website design. We have so many artists and photographers come to us and say, should I have a black background? Should I have a white background? What font should I use? The truth is, it doesn't really matter, in the beginning at least. Unless your website's getting thousands of visitors per month, you can't really test these things. You know, it's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it? A lot of people obsess over their website design and they have no customers, they have no traffic, they have no distribution, and they're trying to get every single thing right before launch. The successful entrepreneurs just ship things and iterate over time, right? So website design is probably the number 1 I see in the art e-com business. Number 2 is packaging. I see artists and photographers all the time obsessing over the little details of what their packaging should look like when they ship to the customer. Yet they're miles away from ever selling even one art piece to a single customer. They have no email list, they have no distribution, they don't have any followers on social media, yet they're spending hours at a time worrying about what their eventual package is going to look like. Don't spend so much time worrying about the very end of the funnel when you haven't even taken the baby steps to build an audience or find a niche for your talent. Number 3, social media post. Oh, should I use this hashtag? Should I use that hashtag? What should I write in the caption? People are spending way too much time on this. Just post something your audience might like. There's no limit. There's not a charge you have to make every time you post on Instagram or Facebook. So you can go back and delete things that you're embarrassed about. You can go delete things that didn't work out. You could post the reel again if it doesn't get traction. Stop obsessing over it. Just experiment, iterate, and continuously be posting. It's way more important to be consistent rather than be perfect. Here at Art Storefronts, we have a service called Copilot, which essentially helps create the foundation for social media, where we're just posting every day to build up that consistency muscle for your social media content. And we found that works really well. That way our artists can spend more time on some of the creative stuff and try different experiments rather than obsessing over what to post every single day or which hashtags to use. Number 4, logo. I was working with a customer the other day where we just designed a new logo in probably 5 minutes. It was very easy to work with, and we made a decision, moved on. Why? Because it doesn't really matter. You're not Apple, you're not Nike. It's not a big press release every time you create your logo. You can create a new one every month if you're not happy with it. The fact is, a lot of people are not seeing your logo. They're not going to your website. You probably don't have a ton of traffic. It's not on billboards. So don't spend hours at a time trying to get the perfect signature or the perfect look and feel of that logo. Just make sure it fits on a website. It looks good on social media. It's readable and memorable. And then be done with it. If you're not happy with it after a month, change it. There's no penalty for changing your logo. Number 5, product photography. Don't spend too much time taking the perfect picture or trying to get that perfect mock-up. Just take a picture of it on the wall, do a basic mock-up, get it out there, get some feedback, and be done with it. And our last one is emails. I see far too often where, an artist will spend 2 hours on an email. 30 minutes on their subject line. Oh, what should I write? They're gonna be so worried about how they come off, and are they gonna offend anybody if they ask for a sale? Guys, people don't care. They're getting hundreds of emails per day, maybe dozens. If they're not in a professional world, they're not gonna remember what your email said yesterday. So your email's purpose is to grab that attention for 1 second, tell a compelling story if you can, or get them to go to your website, right? Just keep your business top of mind. That's all it's designed for. I would advise everybody to get, templates that work. There's professional copywriters that have put, email scripts online. Just go take from them, make it your own, and be done with it. Don't spend, obsessive amount of time, 2, 3, 4 hours writing an email. Far better just to put what's on your mind on paper, get into an email, send it, and do it at a frequent cadence. So that's bike shedding. It's where we're spending way too much time focused on the small details when we should be focused on the bigger picture.